Alright, so I am working on some sketches, and for no reason, just to maybe for t-shirts, maybe for carvings. I have no idea why I'm drawing the things I'm drawing. I just kind of keep working on sketches until, I figure out what I'm going to use the sketch for. But tonight I figured out that I want to draw a boar wearing like a bib, I guess. And like I said, don't ask me why. I am kind of drawing on just random stuff. It's 1:25 in the morning. I'm a little sleepy, but that's kind of when I do my best drawing sometimes. So I've kind of scribbled out my initial idea. And I haven't even looked at a picture of a boar yet. I just kind of scribbled this out in like 10 seconds as a decider of what I want my drawing to look like. I'm gonna make that small. Just take it up in the corner, and I'm gonna turn that down, and then I'm gonna actually pull up a picture of a boar, and maybe when I do the put this up, I will put a little picture in the corner to show you what I'm looking at. But for right now, you can't see it because I'm not gonna worry about moving the camera all around. Actually, I'm not gonna make that small in the corner. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm going to just kind of turn it down and work on a new layer on top of that. Right now, I'm working on an iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil in Sketchbook Pro. So that's what I'm working on. All right, so I've got my basic little sketch. I've got an actual picture of a boar. I want to use what I see in front of me with the actual picture of the boar, but I don't want to change too much from the actual sketch. There's a couple things right off the bat that I'm gonna have to change just from my brain. As I'm gonna pull this a little bit further out, and then I'm gonna have to actually make that the nose kind of push out forward, and then I'm going to open up the mouth, and I'm going to make the tusks smaller. I have a warthog t-shirt block that I have, and they're very boar-like, and I want them. They have this smile that's just really nice. So I want to keep him smiling. And there's a tusk. I'm just gonna. You can't see the tusk on the other side, but I am just gonna kind of put it out there. All right, and this kind of goes like that. Alright, so I've got the basic shapes still. I haven't lost too much of my original drawing. Hairy. And then the ears are a little bit more pointed, which I knew, but in my 10-second sketch I didn't worry about it. Alright, so that is a little bit more of a accurate sketch of what this is going to look like, still keeping my initial idea alive, but making it more accurate. So now I'm going to go ahead and, clean up my sketch. All my sketches start off real gritty and real dirty. So my next layer, that might be a little too thick, not too much, is going to be still real rough. But a little bit more informed. I want to keep this is going to be the edge of the nose. I'm just kind of like looking at basic shapes. I've been told I draw funny. I draw very line based, and I know a lot of people draw more value based. But my drawing is more line based. When I draw, I obviously am drawing to do relief carving. So I'm thinking about it in line and then black and white shapes. I'm not really thinking about it in terms of value. I also want it to be fun. So he's got two little teeth that kind of come out like this on the bottom. I don't think I'm going to put them in. I think I'm going to leave them out. I don't like how it looks with them in. It complicates the mouth. Too much going on. But I am going to put his little tongue in there. It's his fat lip. And I want to make him give him like a double chin kind of here. Right now I'm just getting like the basic shapes down. The fun. I like, when I draw, I like to exaggerate the shapes and make them fun. Put a little, so it's not exactly what I'm looking at. And I don't want to copy the image that I'm using 100% either, because I want it to make it my own warthog. Well, it's not warthog, it's a boar. Alright, so I've kept his eyes really close together. I feel like that's kind of fun. In the reference photo, they're more out like this. But I don't want to keep it like that. I think I'm going to raise them. I want it to still look like a real pig. I'm going to do like that. So we got eyelid. That's good over there. And then so to match it, I kind of got to do the same thing over here. He's got real purty eyes. I'm going to do a little screen capture too. I should have started this all at the beginning, but here we are. Alright, so he's got his little pig ear. Comes up like this. It's fuzzy on the tip. I have a feeling that this one, if I use it for anything, is going to be used for t-shirts. It may not be the best for a carving. I gotta do is, now I'm not gonna do that. So this is like the back of his head here. I'll do that at the end, the bib. Alright, still in scribble mode. Alright, so in the reference photo, he's got like a little black patch on the front of his nose, on the top of his nose there. It looks good in the reference photo, but I can't decide if it looks good here. It kind of goes more in like a triangle. That looks fine. What I do need to do is lines indicate the hair going all the way up, and then this isn't quite as pronounced there, and this is going to be a little smaller. And more. I want to start blocking in some shades now of what I want to be dark in the carving. Still very much in scribble mode. And then he's got a hairy chin. This is going to be dark down here. Dark. Dark. Alright. So we started, I'll show you. We started there. And now we're there. A little bit more informed. So I'm just going to go, I won't delete it. Close. But I do need to move him close, which I'm not in the right layer. Do need to make him a little bit smaller, more centered, so I can have room for the bib. And I want it to kind of be like he tied a napkin around his neck. So this is going to be real dark down here. It looks like he's got a big head and a small body. How are we looking? Doesn't make sense if I flipped it around because I wanted to make sure that it's looking proportionally good. And it makes sense on both sides. And weirdly, this isn't something that I generally do, but it felt necessary in this one. Do I want to make those tusks bigger? No, he's not a warthog, he's a boar. Alright, I don't like the eyes. Alright, so I'm going to flip it back around. I don't like the eyes, and what I don't like about the eyes is how, I don't know, I guess feminine it looks, I think, is what I'm not responding to. I want it to look kind of, I want it to have like a goofy quality, like stupid. Sometimes I like my drawings to have like a roughly drawn quality, not so animated. I know that's weird. A lot of my drawings are. So I'm going to simplify the shapes. And when I say animated, I think I mean like not so like Disney character. I still want them, I don't know. I don't know what I want with this one, to be honest with you. I'll stop trying to guess. I'll know it when I see it, really. Is that it? Is that what I want? I kind of feel like his snout's, even though I moved it out to fit the reference a little better, I feel like I don't like how long his snout is. So I'm going to bring that in. That's kind of better. That's kind of better. You know what else I'm not liking? I think I just figured it. I've kind of got him like a torso, like a human torso. It might be better if I do it like a, he's a four-legged animal. And I still want to draw the head only. But if I made it look like, oh, not erase. If I made it look like he's got more coming that way. And then he kind of, a lot of my drawings have definite ending points. I don't think this is going to be one of those. I think this is going to be one that just kind of fades into nothing. Okay. I'm looking up on my computer just a picture of a bib. And I think I want it to be like a not like a baby's bib, napkin bib. Like someone just has it tucked. Tucked in. Ooh, I should give him what? So I need something to have it tucked into, I think. So I'm gonna give him like a collar. Okay, so there's his collar. And then I'm just gonna do a bib. I'll erase this line. Does it even look like a bib? I don't know. You know, it's so silly. My original idea was to do something talking on a cell phone. And I'm not digging the napkin. I thought it would look cooler than it does. So I'm just going to undo all that. This is how my ideas come up. I have very loose ideas when I start drawing. And I just kind of start drawing until I get something fun. So what happens, I'm gonna go back to a sketchy layer. And I can kind of manipulate. It's okay if it's on top. So, and I know most of the world has iPhones or smartphones now. I'm going to put this down. So I can kind of isolate what I'm working on. Alright, so I know most of the world has smartphones now. But I'm going to not do a smartphone. I'm going to do like a boxy phone with an antenna. And he's got to hold it with his hoof. I'm just worried about the cell phone right now. All over this hoof. Perfect. And so I can erase the stuff underneath the cell phone. And then erase the stuff in here that I don't need. Turn him back up. How am I feeling about this? This feels very different than a lot of my drawings, and I don't mind it. I feel it's kind of got like everything's kind of disconnected feel, and I don't hate it. Furry there, furry there. And this is trying to go there. There's going to be a gap there for sure. I don't hate it. Oops. I'm not linked all together. I like it actually. So I'm going to merge these together now. And it's just kind of talking on the cell phone. And I'm going to erase that back. The main reason I made it smaller is I wanted this to kind of go further out this way. And that's just going to go into nothing. Huh? What you going to do? What's he talking about? Maybe making dinner plans. Oh, that's so stupid. It's great. Okay, cool. I like it. Now I've got my rough sketch. I'm going to take that down one more time. And then I'm going to work on the final. Cool. When I do my... I like the eyes now. So I'm going to... There's a feature on here I try not to use, and it's this predictive line feature. If I need to draw straight lines or something, I'll use it, but if I'm trying to draw just sketchy, I try to avoid it because it kind of makes your drawings on a tablet look very computery. And I don't want that. I'm going to pull my boar picture back up. Little cheek comes out there. And when I'm drawing this last little sketch for, I'm drawing this to carve. So I'm not, I'm not trying to make it like a final masterpiece here. I want it to look good, and I want this to be like a plan for my carving. I want it to be, 90% thought out. I want to indicate the direction that I'm going to carve for my final design. This is his eyelid. And it kind of goes over there. There's a little bit of a shadow here. And a little bit heavier there. And this is the top of his brow. Top of his brow over there. Hairy boar. Oops. This is all going to be fur. Alright, now his pig nose. Those nostrils. They kind of look close together and stupid. But sometimes I like things to look a little bit more me and not so polished. Not so perfect. Alright, so he's smiling now. Really define that shape. And this is gonna be real hairy snout. He's gonna have some black, darker hairs down here. That's just gonna be in shadow. It almost, in my reference photo, almost looks like he has like a long mustache. It's not. I'm not a huge fan of that actually. So I'm gonna take that out. I like how he looks, but I am gonna this is the top curl. I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna kind of focus it down towards, just so I don't have to look at it on my sketch. I'm gonna focus it down towards his mouth. I don't like the mustache look that the reference gives him. And the reference is it's a picture. I think it's a taxidermied boar. He looks like he maybe should be wearing glasses. It's going to inform my carving marks there. Alright. Super zoom. Got some hairy fur. I kind of want to show, there we go, like a pointy, hairy, like a razorback kind of thing, I guess. Is that why they're called razorbacks? Because of the spiky hair on their back? Alright, so that's going to be darkened in. I don't need to do that right now. I usually work with a much smaller pencil, but this feels much rougher, this sketch. Maybe because I'm not really 100% concentrating and I'm talking to you while I do it. I don't know why I darken this side in, but not the other one. I'll go back and darken the other side in, just so it feels congruent. kind of indicate the edge of the cheek there. It's probably not quite the cheek, the face though, the jaw. It's the back of the mandible probably. Okay. So we know. I'm going to turn on the predictive stroke just to get a relatively straight line in this scenario. The predictive stroke, I don't want it that hard. It'll fix the line. It's like using a ruler almost, except it kind of predicts a lot more than just straight lines. But I don't like to use it too much. And when I do use it, I have it on a real low setting. You see how the lines just kind of shore up as you make them. Alright. There's the antenna. A little smaller. All right. The cellular information being streamed out of that antenna, and now I'm going to turn off that setting. I want these to be parallel to that. So, there we go. I might go back and fix that up. Good, I'm still recording. There's hairy hoof. I'm not going to worry too much about pig anatomy here. I'm just going to make it hairy and hoofy. I'm filling this in. So I can come back on top of it with some white and make the marks that I would want to make with my carving tools, which is something like this. And maybe one of those on either side. Okay, a little bit thicker pencil. Get his double chin going here. Okay. His razorback hairs. And like I said, I'm not like trying to be super polished here. Especially with me with hair, I just kind of want to give myself notes for when I draw it onto my board how I want to carve it, because I can't. It's easier for me to sit and carve hair than it is to draw every strand out how I want it to look. Put a little bit more here, a little more dark there. And as I get closer to the hoof, I'm going to lighten it. But I want that kind of dark back there. Yeah. And then give him a triple chin maybe. What do you think he's talking about on the phone? Alright. So this is kind of a piggy knuckle here. Boar knuckle. And then fur on the side. Go back into the mouth. I had to pause it for a second. I ran out of space on one memory card, but I am back. It doesn't feel like anything happened to you, but I just kind of had to go through that for a second. I got to go through and delete some things. Working on finishing it up. I got 25 minutes left on this memory card after deleting a thing. I think I should be able to finish this in that time. We're almost there. It's kind of sad that I couldn't do it before it expired. I'm kind of thinking about my bear carving. That's one of my, I think, one of my better carvings of fur. And so I want to kind of just indicate the direction of the hair right here. Because there's a couple areas on one in the carving where the fur changes direction, and that can be difficult to get. That's just kind of clean up work. Alright, so now this final hoof. What did I do with this one? I kind of gave it one of these. Just kind of a nub. To show that I understand that there's bones under there. I just don't know 100% what that boar bone looks like. Darken this in. Same deal. So I can draw some white on top of it. I'm going to do the same thing up here. Alright, I think I am done with the sketch of this boar. I could sit here all day, and I might sit here for a little bit longer after I turn the camera off, just kind of cleaning him up. But he is, 95% finished. And the interesting parts are, by far, they are done. I don't know if this video is interesting at all. But everything else from here on out isn't really thinky things where I can walk you through what I'm thinking. I guess I'm always thinking when I'm drawing, but it's really like the thoughts have been done, and now I'm just making them clearer thoughts. But there's really no need. Actually, there's one thing that I want to do. I want to come in and clean up these because I want them to be a little thicker when I carve, and I don't want to go in and carve a bunch of tiny little lines, because sometimes I have a tendency to do that where I wanted to put big, fat, thick lines. Because I want this to look very simple. I have a carving that I just said I have twice. I have a carving of a turtle talking on a cell phone, and he's got like a very simple, I think he's got like a flip phone actually in his hand. And I like the feel of that. And I feel like if I go in and try to do too much here, it's not going to feel like a stupid flip phone. Although this isn't quite a flip phone. This is, I don't even know what this is. It's just it's a block with an antenna really. But I think people will read it as a phone. But I don't want to add too much to it to make it seem complicated. So, there we are. I'm going to turn off the underlayer to get a... And there's my warthog sketch. Not warthog, it's just a boar. No warthog. I don't know why I keep calling him warthog. I did get to meet a warthog at Zoo Atlanta. Was it last year or 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago now. And they do have the cutest little smile. So if you have a chance to go meet a warthog, I do suggest it. I'll make this a little bit smaller. But they do have the cutest little smile, and they like to be pet. I don't know if boar are so friendly. They seem mean in the wild sometimes. But these were captive warthog. Don't go approaching wild animals just to check out their smile. They probably wouldn't appreciate that. Alright. 5 minutes ago I said this is going to stop being interesting, so I'm gonna click this off. That doesn't mean I'm not going to keep kind of scribbling away, but I'm going to click it off so you don't have to watch me do it, because this is largely finished. So thank you for enjoying and watching, and I hope that this was at least mildly entertaining for you. Thanks for watching.